Welcome to Headwreckas presents KingTv with your host D Willa, produced by the homies at Conceptual Logistics Enterprise. This is a weekly show where we're going to keep it 100% real all the time and try to bring people together in the name of love. Yes, sir.
Everything you see on the TV. You can't believe everything you read in a magazine. You can't believe all the bullshit on the internet.
Welcome to KingTv. Headwreckas presents with your host D Willa. And again, this is a weekly show where we're going to try to keep it 100% real all the time and bring people together in the name of love. You know, like I always said, I'm not trying to swing you my way or make your opinion the same as mine. I just want to give you a different opinion. And maybe, you know, me and you, when we see each other out there, we can sort of agree to disagree and be cool with each other, because I'm just trying to bring people together in the name of love. And, you know, you'll understand from a guy like me that it ain't all about fighting, just trying to give you another perspective on what's going on. This week, hopefully we'll have a special guest, the CEO of Headwreckas himself, Al Hughes. We'll talk about the Pope. We'll talk about the Sandra Bland incident and what's going down at my alma mater, Prairie View A&M. We'll talk about the guy that's hiking up the AIDS pills. And again, we'll talk about the Texans. Not so good of a week for me, but we'll definitely talk about the Texans and, of course, our Astros. Let me go ahead and start it off locally again like I did last time. The Texans barely slipped away and got a victory today on my homie Jameis Winston. It was very close. Both teams were pretty whack out there, but the Texans got a win, so I'll give them a baby round of applause. Not too much. Not too much this time, Matt. Just a real baby round of applause for these guys. But what was a good thing was that J.J. Watt was nowhere to be seen. All right, let's give a round of applause for that. 2 tackles. I think one of them was a solo. You know, maybe this guy needs to stop doing all the commercials and stop all the pop locking and bebopping when he makes those sacks, because today he did nothing. And this is against a sorry-ass Buccaneers team. Alfred Blue did pretty good. Hopkins did his thing out there. You know, I'm not going to really hate on any of those guys, but Texans fans, I want you to realize this was the Buccaneers. So before we jump out the window saying the Texans are back, just realize this was the Buccaneers, and they're not any good at all. So round of applause again, baby round of applause for the Texans. They got their first win of the year, and we're just going to keep it rolling from there. Now, my team, the Astros, see how I'm sporting the hat today just out of love. We're not going to call them the Astros yet, but it's coming close. Last week when we talked, they were up 2.5 games on that last wild card spot. After losing a couple of games to the Rangers, we are now only half a game in that last wild card spot, with another game to play against the Rangers. I think we're playing the Yankees a few times before it's all said and done. So, Houston, I beg of you, support your Astros. Send the good vibes their way, because they definitely need them. These guys, the bullpen is choking left and right. Correa is out there balling. Seems like him and Altuve are the only ones getting it done out there. But they are, you know, these bats are swinging. They're scoring points. They just have no bullpen. The pitching is starting to fall apart. So, like I said, we're not going to call them the Astros yet. That's 2 S's. We're not going to call them that yet, but it's coming soon. And, you know, even though they weren't supposed to get this far this year, you know, a lot of people didn't think they would be a 500 team. They had this in the bag, and they're losing it. So we can't just, like I said, we got to keep it real 100% of the time. We can't just say, hey, good job, Astros, just because they did better than we thought they were. At one point, we thought they were going to be leading the division. Now, all of a sudden, they might not even make the wild card spot. So, hey, let's just pray that they do it. I want them to do it, because if not, there's only going to be one real team in Houston, and that's the Rockets. So, come on, Astros, let's get it done. Before we get to the guest, if he does show up, we're going to I want to talk about this Sandra Bland incident that's going down at my alma mater, Prairie View A&M. If you don't know, this was a young lady that was pulled over for a moving violation by police out there in Waller County in Texas, and she got pulled out. She gave the cop a little attitude. All of a sudden, she was arrested. Then she was taken back to the jail, and then like the next day she was found dead. They don't know what it is. The autopsy showed that it was a suicide, but there's a lot of people that don't believe that, and I can understand why people don't believe that. All the stuff that's happening, all the lies that they tell when people are getting killed by the police, it is what it is. But I personally think that she killed herself. There's no other reason to kill a lady that in Waller County for a speeding ticket, for blowing smoke in the cop's face. But they passed something where they were trying to make the main street to our alma mater's campus, that's Prairie View A&M, named after her. It's called University Drive now. I think they're trying to change it to Sandra Bland something. And they passed it, and then just this week, they had a vote. I don't know who voted, but they voted again to change the name of the street. And me personally, I think that is a horrible, horrible move. I mean, there's many people that went to Prairie View that have done more than just get killed or committed suicide in the jail. My dad went to Prairie View. He was a top-notch guy out there at NASA. My uncle went to Prairie View. He's a top-notch guy at AT&T. Mr. T went to Prairie View. I'd rather be called Mr. T Lane than Sandra Bland Lane because or whatever the street is, because she didn't do nothing for us. She might have committed suicide. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel for her, and I feel like, if she had problems, and if you do have problems and you're thinking about committing suicide, you need to reach out to somebody. Your life is worth living, and hers was too. But if you do commit suicide, you shouldn't have anything named after you, especially not a street going to the prestigious HBU, historically black university, Prairie View A&M. You know what I'm saying? So, I have some friends, and hopefully I can get them to come on the show later, that did fight for her to get this street named after him. But I just want to say, I do not agree with that either. And most of the alumni that I've talked to do not agree with that. So I'm wondering who voted. Why didn't the alumni get the vote? Who were these people that voted? Maybe had to live in Waller County, maybe had to live in Prairie View to vote. But who were these people that voted? Because it makes no sense. If we're going to fight for something, we need to fight for other things, not naming a street after a chick that might have killed herself in jail because she got a speeding ticket or whatever, failure to switch lanes. She would have been out in the next couple of days. Just, I don't understand that. So we're gonna try to see where the guest is today. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick Kayani break. Brought the little spot for you today, and we'll be back.
Everything you see on the TV. You can't believe everything you read in a magazine. You can't believe.
We're back. Headwreckas presents KingTv. Sorry to say, but our guest didn't had some technical difficulties or mental difficulties. I'm not sure which one, but he didn't show up. Appreciate that, Al Hughes. But so we didn't get to talk about that boy Martin Skrli or whatever his name was, the guy that hiked up the AIDS pills. And we didn't get to talk about EPA or the Pope's visit, which I really did want to get into this week, but we sort of ran out of time. That was my fault. But I promise you, next week we will have the author Noah Rattler, another Prairie View alumni, to come and talk to us. Noah walked I think 1,800 miles to California to bring awareness to the homeless and the homeless situation we got going on here. So he will definitely be our guest next week. I'm looking forward to talking to him. Maybe we can bring up some stuff about the Pope and Sandra Bland since he is an alumni, see how he feels about that. But again, sorry about the short show. But I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all y'all support. Again, if you want to get at me, it's you can catch me on Twitter at Will of the King or Instagram, and we're also on YouTube at HDub.KingTv. Again, Headwreckas presents King TV with D Willa. We'll catch y'all next time. One love. Peace.